kind of events. This is a lot of fun for us, though, because of the sports angle, and I decided next year I'm going to do a performance seminar on how to three-putt, because that's what I'm good at. And that'll be taken from my book, How to Turn a Par into a Bogey by Matt Riley. Some of you may actually own that book. But we're here to talk about fan engagement as a way that we kind of learned a lot about it in the retail and the consumer industry. Mogean is a combination of mobile geospatial analytics. Two of the co-founders were Coca-Cola executives in the marketing department who used a lot of data to figure out what consumers were doing, and they realized there's no way for us to figure out where the consumers are right now. And so what they built was a platform to, in real time, understand where people are, where they've been, and to start to do some data science to actually understand patterns of behavior. What you see right here is for one of our customers, where 400,000 people are right now. So what it allows us to do, assuming they have their location services turned on through the app of a customer, we push out in an invisible way. Because you hear a lot of discussion around engagement, how to get people engaged, and our belief is that moving forward, engaging consumers has to be simple, it has to be invisible. Like as a consumer, you don't want to have to work, right? You want stuff to just happen at the right time, and that's what this allows us to do. It allows us, we can go to the presentation. Okay. We have a company full of data scientists. I'm the only one that's not a data science person, so you can actually see evidence of that here. But so in industries where there's shifting revenue models, you see this a lot in retail. This is really where we got our start, where you have brick and mortar under siege from e-commerce. They have to really figure out where consumers are, what they want, and how to engage with them in a totally different way. And we think this is really relevant in sports. We're actually working with one of the leagues that has a stadium, one of the teams locally up to us, and it has a stadium that's multi-use. And when you have a multi-use facility, it becomes very important to figure out where are people before the game? What did they do today up to the point when they showed up at my facility? How long did they linger? And what are some of the ideas and ways that I can engage them one-to-one basis? Because this is really about having loyal customers, and what we see in retail is about the brand being loyal to the customer. And we see a lot of that discussion going on in leading consumer and leading retail companies. So how can brands be loyal to consumer? It's about having a relationship, and it's not about spam. And so if you've been in a relationship, I've been married 23 years, by luck mostly, but what you learn is relationships about listening, and it's about knowing when to speak, when to communicate, and when not to communicate. And the state of the art right now in mobile ad connection is about pushing messages to people in a very crude way. I was just up in Silicon Valley. I transitioned through LAX, and I got an ad from a Toyota dealer in LA saying, hey, we see that you're in LA. Here's a sale going on. Well, I'm in the airport for 40 minutes. I'm not going to run out and buy a car, but they didn't know any better, right? So with the technology that Mogean's built, it allows people to understand, am I passing through the airport? Do I work at the airport? Am I picking somebody up? And now you can actually come up with a number of different ways to have relevant conversations. Because the reality is, what we know, what brands know about consumers, is mostly from online. That's really where we've evolved, right? So 30% of your time is online during the day. 70% of the time that you spend when you're awake, you're not online. So right now, we're here. That guy's online, but other than him, we're here. And so what are we doing here? Do we live here? Do we work here? Are we here a little bit? Do we come here often? This is the kind of insight that when you build a pattern over about 4 to 6 weeks, once we go live on a customer's app, we can actually determine this, and we can get into segments that never existed before. We're working with a consumer goods company who's very focused on trying to figure out the mom segment. And we said, wait, there's no such thing as a mom, really. I mean, I have one. My wife's a mom. But there's working moms. There's moms who are single. There's moms who are married and maybe work at home. There's moms who are just dropping their kid off at school and want a quiet moment for a coffee. And once you really understand what people are doing, who they are, you can really then build an engagement with them. So now Nate is going to talk about a use case that we have right now in progress in 36 seconds that I've left him.
I'm Nate. It's great to be here. We're really excited about sharing this unique competitive advantage that we're taking to the retail marketplace, and we're starting to talk to different sporting teams and franchises and venues. So I'm going to skip forward to this. And really, this is what it comes down to. Matt mentioned one of the franchises we're talking to in our Atlanta market. Brand new venue, and they're trying to figure out how to speak to the new fan base that they have. They've relocated about 20 miles north of their their legacy venue, and it's pretty exciting. They're trying to figure out, well, I have a new fan base. If I can find out where people are coming from, then I can better talk to them, and I can keep them at one of my retailers that are at the new venue. If I can find out where people are going to after my venue, then I know more about them. If I can find out what people do in their day-to-day lives, then I know when not to talk to them. And my time is up. Okay, but we're really excited about helping brands and bringing this type of granular intelligence, aggregating it and showing different franchises, different brands, different teams exactly what state of the day-to-day journey that their fans are in, so that we could do exactly what this slide says. I mean, I think it's even more important to understand when not to talk to people. And then if you understand that people are a group of people, I mean, the stadium we're talking about, 40,000 people are going to be there. If we understand what state and what behavior mode that 10,000 of those people are in, we can help we're going to help this brand talk exactly to them and then influence them in the way that will help them build a better relationship.
Thank you, Mogean. We'll take questions from the judges.
It sounds like really interesting technology. It also sounds like a little bit scary from a privacy perspective. Mm-hmm. You know, brands are a little bit gun shy from that. What's the strategy to deal with that?
Yeah, so that's a question that comes up a lot. And I think what our view is that when consumers don't get anything in return, it's just creepy, right? So there's another platform that works with a ride-sharing app that announced recently that they were going to go and look into your contacts and your calendar to try to, and that is an overreach, in my opinion. The consumer doesn't get anything back from that. And so that then turns into something that's not value creating. But when you're getting something, when there's somebody that you care about, a brand that you trust sends you something, sends you a message at the right time, and they realize that you understand them, we found that that's actually viewed as a positive.
Can you take me into the weeds a little bit? So I have an event at a venue. There's 50,000 people there. I'd sure love to be able to go to Dunkin' Donuts and say 13% of everybody who leaves this event ends up going to Dunkin' Donuts on their way home. How are you getting the information? Is it because it's embedded in the app and they have to turn on the privacy function, or can you take us into the...
Sure. So it's an SDK. It's a software kit that pushes out onto the app of the client. So if it were, let's say, the Braves, it would be MLB. If it were a team, we'd push out either onto the app of the team or the league. And once it's on, as the customers download the app, whether it's in the iTunes store or whatever, manually, it goes live on the phone. Then we begin to track, and then we build profiles. And so we actually are working with one restaurant chain showing how often do people drive past your store to go to a competitor, and when are they there right now, and how do you get them back?
So I don't have to turn on location on your iPhone?
Yeah, so you have to, when you download the app, you have to say yes, location services.
Okay, but then
if
your
it's
location
off, you're
services
out.
have to be on. If you're off, you're out. So that's an issue, right? Because people are always worried about battery usage at a venue.
That's right.
They don't want to use location at a
That's right.
So one of the patented part of this is less than 1% battery use per day and very minimal data, which is a breakthrough because a lot of the location services that you see chew up battery and they chew up data, which gets to be intrusive and a pain in the neck. And that violates the premise that I talked about earlier, which is technology being invisible.
And the competition would be like Lemon is a company that's trying to do it, right? There's a couple other ones that are doing the same thing.
I think there's a couple other ones. Like Foursquare is one that everybody knows about. Foursquare has decided to be a lot higher battery usage, and they're trying to push ads based on where you are right now. They're not necessarily, in my opinion, using data science to get to know you better. They're just saying, hey, you're here now, here's a thing, which is interesting, but it doesn't show that you've learned anything about the consumer.
Can you just give us a little bit of background on sort of who your initial reference customers are, so who the early adopters of this, how many have implemented it, deployed it?
Yep, so there's 400,000 total people live on the platform right now. Early adopters are in the restaurant industry, so fast casual. Private equity that owns multiple brands is very interested. We're about to go live with a portfolio that will have all of them, so we'll be able to cross-sell. So if you go into store A, we understand where you are, we can then help you go to store B. So this portfolio back and forth cross-marketing hasn't been done before, but it's going to be pretty interesting. We mentioned the team. We hope to be live here pretty soon. We passed all the technical hurdles with the league. It's just a matter of some of the other environmental factors, and then we have interest in other consumer and retail. So we predict 15 million live by this summer.
Just real quick, so what's the revenue model?
It's a subscription. So it's a SaaS model. So we provide real-time portal, so you can see real-time where all the customers are.
Per client or per end user?
Number of users that are live. So there's tiers in the pricing based on the engineering work that we have to do. But basically, once we design the report with the client, we press a button, it's streaming live. We can run experiments, and that's another revenue stream, which we didn't really talk about. But we can actually experiment how your ad campaigns, how your marketing is changing engagement, changing behavior in a micro market, and then scale that up. So we're actually using the data science in real time to push people's behavior.
Great. Thank you very much, Mogean.
Thanks. Thank you.